On the surface, Rhyl is a postcard of a Welsh seaside town. It's a place packed with memories for generations of holidaymakers, famous for its long sandy beaches, buzzing arcades, and the familiar, salty rhythm of life on the coast. But just beneath that nostalgic surface, a truly dark story has been unfolding. It's a story of modern slavery, drug trafficking, and the exploitation of children. In August 2025, after a long and secret investigation, police charges shattered the town's peace and dragged a hidden nightmare into the light. 4 local men, and later a woman, found themselves at the center of a complex web of allegations, facing some of the most serious charges imaginable. The accusations run from rape and sexual assault, all the way to offenses under the Modern Slavery Act. This isn't a story from some distant anonymous city. It happened right in the heart of a small Welsh community. It involves allegations against local men and the victimization of local teenage girls. The case has raised questions that are as profound as they are disturbing. How could something like this go unnoticed for so long? And what does it say about the dark underworlds that can operate just beneath the veneer of normal life, even in our own towns? This is the story of how that secret was finally exposed. The investigation, run under the codenames Operation Embank and Operation Zirconium, had been quietly grinding away for nearly 2 years. It was a slow, meticulous effort by North Wales police, digging into a world most people in Rhyl would never know existed. The crimes were alleged to have taken place between April 2022 and March 2024. A long, dark period during which 3 teenage girls were allegedly subjected to unimaginable abuse. In a community where everybody seems to know everybody, the sheer scale and horror of the accusations sent a shockwave through the town and far beyond. To really feel the weight of these events, you first have to understand Rhyl. It's a town that holds a special kind of British nostalgia, a popular Victorian-era resort. It has seen its fortunes rise and fall with the tides of tourism. For so many, it's a place of happy childhood memories, of fish and chips on the promenade and pennies clattering in the slot machines. But, like a lot of coastal towns across the UK, Rhyl has also faced serious economic struggles. Away from the seasonal buzz of the seafront, there's a different reality. Parts of the town suffer from serious deprivation, ranking among the most disadvantaged in all of Wales. That kind of socio-economic pressure creates vulnerability. It creates environments where desperation can be exploited, and where criminals can find fertile ground. It's in these spaces, between the bright lights of the fairground and the quiet residential streets, that the darkest crimes often take root. The contrast is jarring. A town built for family holidays, becoming the backdrop for an investigation into child sexual exploitation and modern slavery. This case forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. This kind of horrific exploitation doesn't just happen in far-off countries or sprawling, faceless cities. It can happen in a town of just 25,000 people, in neighborhoods where life is supposed to feel safe. The allegations suggest a network that was operating with chilling confidence, right under the noses of an unsuspecting community. And that's what makes this story so deeply unsettling. It's the realization that the monsters from our nightmares aren't always strangers. They can be ordinary people, living just down the road. Every investigation like this starts with a single act of incredible bravery. In this case, it was the courage of 3 teenage girls who decided to come forward and tell someone what was happening to them. The police inquiry that followed, Operations Embank and Zirconium, wasn't a quick affair. It started quietly, far from the public eye, as detectives from North Wales Police began the painstaking work of piecing together the harrowing accounts. Detective Chief Inspector Rich Sidney, the officer leading the case, has repeatedly praised the victims for their strength. "Our priority is always the protection and support of victims, and this investigation is no exception," he said in a statement. And that focus is absolutely critical. Investigations into trafficking and sexual exploitation are notoriously difficult. They depend entirely on the testimony of people who've been through intense physical and psychological trauma. Building trust isn't just part of the job. It's the first and most vital step. For 2 years, from the first reports in 2022 to the arrests in 2024, investigators worked to build their case. This wasn't just about taking statements. It meant corroborating every single detail, sifting through digital communications, tracking financial records, and conducting surveillance. In cases of modern slavery, it also means proving a complex pattern of control and exploitation, which is a very high bar to clear legally. The police worked closely with the Crown Prosecution Service, or CPS, right from the start. That early involvement is a sign of just how seriously they were taking it. Prosecutors reviewed evidence as it was gathered, guiding the police on what they'd need to build a case that could actually stand up in court. The codenames, In Bank and Zirconium, tell their own story. This wasn't a response to a single crime, but a major coordinated operation to dismantle what they believed was an organized network preying on the most vulnerable. In August of 2025, that quiet 2-year investigation finally exploded into public view. A series of arrests and charges laid bare the shocking scale of the alleged crimes. 4 men from Rhyl and 1 woman from nearby Gronant were charged with a laundry list of offenses that painted a picture of a depraved and interconnected criminal operation. The alleged ringleader, 42-year-old MUSTAFA IQBAL of Trelawelyn Road, Rhyl, faces an astonishing 21 charges. The list is a chilling catalog of human exploitation. He's accused of 3 counts of rape, 3 counts of sexual assault, and multiple offenses under the Modern Slavery Act. He is also charged with conspiracy to supply both Class A and Class B drugs, possession of a firearm, and most tellingly, breach of a pre-existing slavery and trafficking risk order. That prior order suggests IQBAL was already on law enforcement's radar for this exact type of alleged crime. The other men faced equally grave accusations. MOHAMMAD Usman Arshad, 35, of Clifton Grove, Rhyl, was charged with rape, 4 modern slavery offenses, and supplying Class B drugs. Ziola Badshaw, 24, of Brighton Road, Rhyl, was charged with 2 counts of rape, 4 modern slavery offenses, and supplying Class B drugs. And Jaswinder Singh, 60, of River Street, Rhyl, faced 2 charges under the Modern Slavery Act, and charges for supplying Class B drugs. To really get the weight of this, you have to understand what modern slavery means in court. The Modern Slavery Act of 2015 was a landmark law. The charges in this case allege that the victims were not just subjected to horrific assaults, but were controlled, manipulated, and treated as property to be exploited. The drug charges aren't separate from the slavery accusations. They're woven into the fabric of the alleged crimes. In many trafficking networks, drugs are a tool of control. They're used to create dependency, to trap victims in debt, and to shatter their will, making them easier to exploit. The investigation didn't stop there. A woman, 52-year-old Sarah Gray of Lanassa Road, Gronant, was also charged with conspiracy to supply drugs, assisting an offender, and perverting the course of justice. Another 61-year-old man from London was arrested and remains on bail. These additional arrests suggest police believe this wasn't just a few individuals, but a wider network with different people playing different roles. Following the charges in August 2025, The case moved into the court system. All 4 men first appeared at Llandudno Magistrates' Court and were remanded in custody, held in prison, while they awaited their next court date. Then, on Friday, September 5, 2025, the 4 men, along with Sarah Gray, appeared at Mold Crown Court. In a major development, all 5 defendants pleaded not guilty to all charges against them. MUSTAFA IQBAL denied all 21 charges. The other 3 men, and Sarah Gray, likewise denied all accusations. After the pleas, the judge, His Honor Timothy Petts, adjourned the case. He ordered the 4 male defendants to remain in custody, but granted Sarah Gray unconditional bail. A timeline for justice is now set. A pre-trial review is scheduled for February 2, 2026, with a full trial set to begin on April 13th. It's expected to last between 4 and 6 weeks. As news of the arrest spread, the community of Rhyl was plunged into a state of shock. For a small town, the idea that such a network could allegedly be operating within it is profoundly disturbing. Police and prosecutors quickly issued strong warnings about the dangers of online speculation. Detective Chief Inspector Sidney urged the public not to post anything that could identify the victims or derail the legal proceedings. Louisa Robertson, a specialist prosecutor at the CPS, reminded everyone that the accused have a right to a fair trial. It's a vital principle. Public anger on social media, however justified it feels, can risk prejudicing a jury and making a fair trial impossible. The case has also sent tremors all the way to the Welsh Senedd, prompting calls for a Wales-wide inquiry into grooming gangs and child exploitation. It has reignited a painful national conversation about whether enough is being done to protect vulnerable children, not just in Rhyl, but everywhere. While the details of the Rhyl case are shocking, the crime itself is, tragically, not unique. It's a brutal local example of a hidden epidemic. Modern slavery and human trafficking are crimes that thrive in the shadows. The National Crime Agency estimates there are tens of thousands of victims in the UK at any one time, but the real number is probably much, much higher. These crimes take many forms, from forced labor in nail bars to the kind of sexual exploitation alleged in Rhyl. Perpetrators are masters at targeting vulnerable people, those facing poverty, addiction, or social isolation. In cases of child exploitation, groomers often use twisted psychological tactics, faking affection and offering gifts, drugs, or alcohol to build a bond of dependency before the abuse begins. The Rhyl case, with its alleged toxic mix of drug supply, sexual violence, and trafficking, fits a well-known pattern. These criminal groups create a closed system of control, trapping their victims with debt, addiction, and fear. Escaping that web is incredibly difficult, which is why the courage of the 3 teenage girls in this story is so monumental. Their willingness to speak up is the essential first step in tearing these operations down. This case is a brutal reminder that these are not abstract issues. They are happening in our towns and on our streets. It's a wake-up call for all of us to be more aware, to recognize the signs of exploitation. Is a child suddenly flush with expensive gifts? Are they secretive, fearful, or controlled by older people? The fight against modern slavery doesn't just need a strong police response. It needs an engaged public, willing to be the eyes and ears for those who are too afraid to speak for themselves. The legal proceedings against the 5 individuals are now active, and they are presumed innocent until proven guilty. As the town of Rhyl braces for a long and difficult trial, this case stands as a harrowing testament to the darkness that can hide in the most ordinary of places. What are your thoughts on this deeply disturbing case? Please share them respectfully in the comments. For more investigative reports like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel.